the Bible has less waters than Hangler for example. Or say Mao has less waters than Ukrul. And Tamil will be very happy. Going by the way we have lived, going by the way we have lived our life, or going by the way we have protested. Right? So we'll be very happy. And the Tivamuk area people will be very happy because no matter what the number is, it is here. Now, this calls for a serious thought today. Because we are satisfied with what we see, what we eat today, what we love today, what we laugh for today. I think the situation calls for us to introspect deeper and see what should we love? Why do we love for? I think it calls us to understand the very nature of justice. Because our forefathers, maybe I will not say our forefathers, but our politicians, our leaders, are happy being the hero of a small boundary, a small town. And unless we get these things out of our tradition, there is nothing there is not much we can do. And then even as I say, we were just joking, have we peaked in this movement? God forbid, we have not peaked, we have just started the movement. And yet, so to elongate the movement, to spread this movement of realization, I should say, we have to understand certain things, or we have to promise certain things among ourselves. And that is, we are not different from each other. Our pain, our culture, we are not different. Yes, the sound may be different. Yes, the way you dance may be a little different from mine. The way I laugh may be a little louder than yours. But we are not different. We are in the same boat. And if we don't steer this boat towards a higher ground, I think we are doomed. So my difference today, as we gather here, I think we need to now move forward. Or we need to move to a realization where your pain is not your pain alone. It is mine. Where my cry, my need is not my need alone. It is yours. Because somewhere or the other way, it is interchanged. Someday you cry, then I'm going to cry the next day. So, what is the situation for us here? That to be in Manipur, that each of us crying, and yet where we fail is that, Cook is crying, Nagas are crying, Pirates are crying, Mars are crying. The problem is that we fail to hold our hands together in the past. So, my proposition is this: as we have reached this juncture, we must come out with a concrete solution. A solution for which we must be ready to go on. A solution for which we must be ready to sacrifice. Should we go for state, a union territory, a sixth schedule, whatever it is, it must relieve us from this bondage of majoritarian rules. It must, in fact, what we need to do, or what we look for, or we must look for, is that we have to have that platform. It could be a state, union territory, sixth schedule, whatever it is. But that must allow us to grow culturally, economically, politically, intellectually, and socially. Friends, I would urge this because, but then, let me also remind you that the idea of Manipur, it's already overcrowded. Please do not think that there is any space for you and me to go back and grow thinking that kingdoms are Amani. It is not. It is already overcrowded. When people talk of integrity, Manipur integration, whatever it is, one has to understand. People, the so-called people who are dying for integrity or integration, are simply mistaken for their privilege with integrity. There is no such thing like integrity. Those people who are in fact hampered by the idea of Manipur are simply either they are mistaken, they're mistaking their privilege for integrity, or that they are in fact openly fooling us with the sacrosanctity of living together as one. Now, so we must ask, if it is integrity, where is the space for the tribals to integrate into? Because to integrate involves space. Right. So, I must tell you that as far as I know, my little knowledge about Manipur is that culturally, yes, your culture, your dance, your songs can be one of the peripheral dances of Manipur. But it is not going to be the dance of Manipur. Your language, no matter how many you write, it's not going to be the language of Manipur. Or, let's say, your idea, it is not going to, unless of course you accept that it comes, from the plane. It's not going to be your idea. So to me, I find it very problematic in the term called Manipur, culturally, politically speaking, as I have given you the statistic. Politically speaking, I don't know. I don't see any case in this term called Manipur. And as I must reiterate once again, that this politics of integrity need to be questioned by all of us. In the name of perpetuating dominance, in the name of continuing their dominance over the hills, there has been, huge invention of words and terms like integrity, integration, kingdom, amadani. And yet, if you remember the famous poem sung by Dinodini Devi, king of, this song talks about, now this song glorifies the Kongjong War, okay? So, your exclusion from Manipur is actually not new, it is a continuation. So, a poem, a Manipuri poem, well celebrated, well sung, a song well sung by British ghost, Chingna Koina Banshaba, meaning hills surrounds us. So it goes on with Chingna Koina Banshaba, and then went on and on. So this is a continuation, the perpetration, and yet the language of hegemony must be sweet. The language of hegemony is very sweet because who can say that kingdom? Who can deny the ideal notion of kingdom market? Who can say that Medes and Nagas and Kukis are brothers? These are the laws.